depression, uncertainty, doubt. These are all characteristics of overthinking. These all happen when you overthink. In this video, I'm going to give you a framework with 4 steps that you can apply to your life right now that I've tested, that I've used in my own life, that works to help you take action, to get out of overthinking, and to start taking steps towards living a more purposeful and meaningful life and living your life's purpose. My name is John Henry, and I'm a geographer and photojournalist, and for the last 20 years I've been asking questions about how to live your life's purpose. In this channel, that's what I talk about, and I take a step-by-step approach and look at different facets and different ways that you can live your life's purpose, and also for myself. And in today's video, I'm talking about this book, this framework that I got from this book. It's called The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope, and I highly recommend this book. It is a really interesting take on the Bhagavad Gita, which is an ancient philosophical text from the Indian subcontinent that looks at essentially overthinking, and it's a book of guidance about how to live your life with action and with purpose, and to get out of your head and to get into your spiritual body and your body, and to realize what you need to do in life and why. Okay? So, if that sounds useful for you, stick around, and I want you to stick around until the 4th step, because it's not what I was expecting, and I think that you'll find it really useful, that it feeds back in to the rest of the framework, and that you can continue to use this unexpected step in really interesting ways. So, to kick it off, I want to really talk about first, what is a life purpose, right? Because without understanding this, I think we're kind of lost a little bit. And so the word that they use in the book, and you've probably heard this word before too, it's dharma. And this is, we could do hours and hours about just this one word here on YouTube, but to kind of give you a succinct and narrow version of it, this is your soul's purpose in life. This is your calling. This is not what you think you should be doing, but it's what you've been put here to do, and it's what really connects you with the spiritual realm, and you're essentially why you are supposed to do what you're supposed to do, right? And it's not the same for everybody, so it's impossible to really describe and give a one sort of description for every person, but maybe it's more professional, maybe it's more familial, or maybe it's something different, maybe it's artistic. And so we each can have unique strengths, and we can apply them in these different facets of our life that resonate with us, that have an impact, and that really connect us with our higher self, our self with a capital S, not just our ego, but our true self. And I think one of the important components of living your life's purpose is finding it. How do you know it? How do you know it when it hits you, right? And so I think that that's a big question that we're going to be talking about today, that I want to discuss, is putting yourself in the right circumstances to recognize it. And this can be done through meditation, journaling, reflection, and it's often done. I found that I've had the best results when I do this sort of reflection, not overthinking it, ironically, like not putting yourself in your brain, but putting yourself in your body. And when you get goosebumps, when you get chills, these are signals that something is really clicking about the path you're taking. And that's a nudge. It's a nudge to go forward, right? This is an opportunity for you to listen to your body and to take action and to start building pragmatic steps to move forward on this path. And so doubt is another component of probably why you're here, probably because you're stuck in this overthinking loop and you're having doubts, right? And I want you to frame doubt in a certain way from now on also, because this is something from the book that I think that is really interesting. And it's not when you think that something is maybe wrong or you're suspicious about something or not true. The way that doubt was framed in this book, when thinking about your life's purpose and thinking about how to live a more fulfilling life, doubt is the simultaneous understanding of two sides of the coin or two sides of a problem. So you might see it both ways. Like if you're at a crossroads and this path is interesting and good and this path is interesting and good, it's hard to choose what's right. And so this creates doubt that you are going down the right path or that you're going to make the right decision, and it leads to inaction. It leads to inaction in life. And inaction is the state we want to get out of, right? It can be useful at times if you approach it from a meditative or a reflective state, but if you become inactive because you're fearful of making the wrong choice, then you're just living life standing still. You're not progressing, you're not moving, you're not enacting on anything. So I think those are important concepts to get off the fence, right? To commit to a path. And you can always sort of change course, but it's important to remember that if you're feeling it from your body rather than overanalyzing it, that it's a good sign to move from living and listening to your body. So life is action. I've got my notes here. And without action, we're not living life. Like we have to do stuff to live life, right? Simple concept. And so in the book, Stephen Cope talks about 4 pillars of action that are this framework that I was opening up the video with. 1, look to your life's purpose. He calls it dharma, and name it. So name your life's purpose. You can't live it if you don't name it, right? Do it full out is number 2. So number 1 is name it. Number 2 is do it full out, commit to it. Number 3 is let go of the fruits. Let go of the fruits. And number 4 is turn it over to God. And this is the one that I think it's not what you think it means. It's how he frames it, but it's not what you think it means. So I'm going to talk about these 4 pillars, these 4 concepts a little bit more in depth for you. And the first one is pretty straightforward. It's name your life's purpose. Name your dharma. Identify it and say it and write it and really wrap your mind around it, okay? So you can't do it if you don't name it. If it's kind of a feeling or an idea, you have to spend some time with it to work through, what am I really feeling here? What am I trying to identify? What does it look like? And you have to create the conditions in your life so that you can name it. If you're a busy person, if you've got kids, maybe you're going to school, maybe you have a couple jobs, you have some side hustles, it's hard to get alone time. It's hard to get quiet time, but you have to create those conditions and kind of be aware of your body as to when you can tap into your own intuition. Are you most clear-headed first thing in the morning? Are you most clear-headed maybe later at night? Do you find inspiration then? Do some reflection about this, and then start being intentional about carving out time that you can spend meditating, that you can spend doing breath work, that you can spend journaling, free-form writing to let emotions out, to think about what it is you really want to do, and being in touch with your body during that time to feel what resonates with you, what pushes you, and then having the bravery to admit this thing that I really want to do maybe is not lucrative, maybe there's no money in it, or maybe it's just not what I told my family I was going to do with my life. And so we have to start rationalizing and working through these different expectations, right? These external expectations about who you are, what even you thought you were going to do with your life, and realize that it is okay to pivot. It's okay to change course. That the decisions you made as an adolescent and as maybe a 20-something weren't necessarily the best decisions for your adult life, for your true life purpose. And maybe they were, but oftentimes we're acting from a place of ego in our adolescence and in our youth. We're acting from a place of external stimulus. So like we're getting directions from people, we're getting told what to do, and we're listening to that and not who we really are, not who we our true selves. I think that's the rare case, unfortunately, because in my instance, I wasn't taught to meditate as a child. I wasn't taught to meditate as a young adult. I wasn't taught to really get in touch with my true emotional state and my true self. I was sort of taught these skills to function in society and, academic sort of skills, if you will. But how does that help you really understand yourself? It doesn't. So make the conditions, and I'll tell you a story about how one of the ways that I was able to tap in and identify my life's purpose was through the Wim Hof method, which is a breathing technique used to oxygenate your body, and then you exhale completely the oxygen out of your body and hold the air out of your body, and it really taps you into your nervous system. It creates really a sense of clarity, and it really helps open up your third eye and give messages, and you can really listen to your true self through these meditative breathing exercises. And I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to learn more. I have a video about my own journey with the Wim Hof method and how I got into it and what profound impacts it's made on my life. So check that out if you're new to Wim Hof, or look him up here on YouTube. He's got a lot of great content and a lot of great, really important life lessons that you can apply also on how to improve your condition. So you can explore that method to get in touch and identify and then name your life's purpose. So once you do that, do it in full. This is step number 2. Do it in full and clear away any unnecessary things, right, in your life. So the book recommends, doing your life's purpose in full, and the author talks a lot about different historical figures, who chose their life's dharma and chose to live it in full. And I think that we have to live a little bit more of a nuanced life in today's society, and it's difficult to live it in full. So I'm urging you to identify what's necessary and what you can do without. Maybe it's, going out at night, or going out as much, or certain hobbies, like some things you're going to have to cut away to make time for your life's purpose, right? So do that, and you'll start to find that when you're living your life's purpose, when you're engaging in those activities, other stuff isn't going to shimmer quite so much. It's not going to have the same sparkle. It's not going to make you fulfilled in a certain way, and which is useful because you just won't want to do it anymore, and you'll want to make more and more time for yourself and enacting your life's purpose. And it'll help you stop overthinking, because you won't think like, oh, should I do this thing or should I do this thing, right? What am I going to fill my time with, this or this? You're not going to be caught up in your own mind anymore, because you'll have identified your purpose, your dharma, and then you will have cleared out all this clutter, right? You'll have made space for it, and you'll be able to fill your life with these new ideas. So that helps you stop overthinking. And then the third thing is to let go of the fruits. Let go of the fruits. And this helps you live your life purpose, and it helps you to stop overthinking by allowing you to be in it, allowing you to be fully present in it. Letting go of the fruits means don't think about the outcomes. Don't do it for the outcomes. Don't obsess over the outcomes. Are you into social media? Well, you want to be successful? Sure, that is logical, but what is the purpose of what you're doing, right? What is the intended outcome? And if it's money, then I think we're having maybe a disconnect here about the purpose of this video, because the purpose should be about changing somebody's life, enacting some sort of positive outcome on this planet. So if you let go of the fruits, you stop grasping for outcomes. You stop wanting more views on your channel or more money or promotion. And you start, rather than desiring things, you start aspiring for things. So you aspire to be a better person. You aspire to create a loving atmosphere. So desire comes from your ego, right? You want to be successful. You desire to create change in this world because it's important to do that in your mind. Aspirations come from love, come from loving each other, loving yourself, and truly aspiring to create a more perhaps peaceful world, or whatever it is, fill in the blank with your example. So the difference between desire and aspirations here are important, because doesn't desire like run the world? And unfortunately, in a lot of ways it does, but also aspirations to truly do something out of love is full of energy, full of hope, and a better way to really enact your life. So that's the difference between desire and aspirations, and how you can really use that kind of those distinctions to reflect upon your own intentions. Are you acting out of ego when you're making a thing and you want the outcome? Or are you aspiring for it to really help somebody? And if you let go of the outcome, then the process is the outcome, right? Like, you did a thing to help somebody. Whether or not they used it, whether or not it worked, whether or not, it worked as well as you wanted, you helped somebody. You tried to help somebody. You lived your life purely to help that other person, whatever the circumstance was. You did it. You lived it. You were in the pure state of action doing it. And so nothing else really matters. And the fourth thing is turn it over to God. And this is the last one that I wanted to talk about here in the last few minutes of this video. And it's not what you think. It's turning over to God means doing the one thing where you identify that you are one with humanity, that you are one with the world. The author does a great job of talking about it in terms of a wave, and waves seem distinct, right? But they're all part of the same ocean. And in this sense, you've likely done something in your life where you felt truly connected with humanity, and you really resonated with humanity, and you felt like, oh, I'm part of this, and this person's no different than me. And that's it. That's the key. If you can tap into that, and if you can use that feeling and that knowledge to guide your other actions, to feed it back into further identifying your life's purpose and continuing to refine this framework, you will be forever on your path, living your life's purpose, and not overthinking all the details, because you will have these guiding beacons of knowing that you're at one with the rest of the world, with humanity, and you've identified your purpose and you're on that path. And so all the other things that you have to think about they fall away, right? Because when you're really in that zone, when you're really in that flow, when you're really absorbed with your life's purpose, not too much else really matters, right? You're truly here for this one reason, and you're in it. So I think that last point is great and really reminds us of the impact that living our life's purpose can do. When we know that the thing we're doing is going to have an impact and it's purely to help people, then what better way to spend our time on this planet, in this incarnation, in life? There isn't any. Did this resonate with you? Because I really love this book, and I suggest that if this framework was useful, then I suggest you pick up the book, go to the library, order it somehow. I don't care how you get your hands on it, but it's a great read. And the author, Stephen Cope, uses a lot of different case studies about how people have found and lived their life purpose. So likely there's some stories in there that are going to really resonate with you, that you'll be like, oh, you'll identify with those folks. So if this was useful, I would love for you to use your physical manifestation and like this video, because it helps other people find the content. It helps YouTube push it, and it helps spread this to people who are looking to stop overthinking just like you and to live more fully and more intentionally. And then finally, subscribe to this channel, because I think that I am trying to build a community here of people like you who are interested on improving their life's path and on their life's journey to understand what they're here to do. And I want to hear your comments about what part of your life's journey, discovering your life's purpose, you're on. Are you on one of these 4 stages of discovering your life's purpose? Let me know in the comments, because I guarantee you other people are in that same process too, and they can relate with you and learn from you, and maybe you'll learn from them. So with all the love, thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.